Okay, just something I wanted to point out because, well, at this point it's academic, and it's so confounding that it almost makes you think I'm just not getting it. And well, I know I'm not getting it, and other people are either not getting it or not telling me that I'm supposed to be getting it, and I still probably would say something about it. Anyone in this area, in the entire Northern California area, remembers this event. In fact, 911 received something like 50 calls because people thought they actually saw a UFO inside this cloud. It was very stunning, and I've seen a lot of storms. I've gone hurricane chasing. The lightning was purple. I even tried to film it with my cell phone, and it doesn't even come out right like normal lightning. So it was one of those, weird things. It wasn't just a weird lightning storm where in California we don't know what's going on. It was really bizarre, and it was all around us, and it really came out of nowhere. There were no predictions of it coming. Now, when the Monday morning quarterbacked that, they changed it around a little bit. But it was a very rare event. And at first, there was almost no home videos of it even on YouTube, which I couldn't believe because, everybody was talking about it. There was something like, 5 or 6 lightning bolt strikes that were like massive strikes every second, every minute. But what happened afterwards, I don't understand how people aren't getting this because something serious happened here. They're convicting a guy who appears to be mentally disturbed, who basically ran out into the road claiming at first he said he claimed he killed 3 people at a marijuana growing plantation, and that he started this fire to distract people, although he went out into the road and waved down firefighters to warn them or to tell them he was the guy that started the fire. Now, remembering very distinctively that time period, and anyone living in the Northern California area would, from here to Santa Cruz, definitely, that he would have been laughed at because we know what started the fires. Over 650 of them were started. It was this fucking lightning storm. People forgot that. They just totally drawn a blank. So I'm like, wait a second. Now when I go onto YouTube and I look it up, I'm seeing even updates on this fire when there's a lot of fires going on between August 15th and like the 30th. But after this lightning storm, they were like, dude, there could be fires anywhere. I don't remember anyone specifically pointing out this fire because it happens every year. It's in Big Sur. Apparently, they're saying it killed a condor reserve. Apparently, we had all these firefighters injured or killed because they had to deploy their safety stuff. And this was like 3 or 4 weeks after the fire started. But they've got this illegal immigrant who claims he was doing a marijuana plantation to hide dead bodies. They never found dead bodies. And if I can find the news clip, even the fire investigator says, all we have as evidence is that this guy says he did it. Well, no, what you have as evidence was the lightning storm. So I decided to look it up a little bit just to back myself up on this to make sure I'm not crazy and it was the right year. And I remember the night. I was here with friends and we were like, holy shit, what is going on? It was really a crazy night. And yes, it was August 18th. Or to be specific, I think it was, the 16th through the 18th of 2020. It was about 10 o'clock at night. We were in my garage and all of a sudden it was like a strobe light outside, but in purple. Well, in Wikipedia, sure enough, it's listed. It's not just listed, it's listed as the siege. August 2020 California lightning wildfires. The August 2020 California lightning wildfires, also referred to as the August lightning siege or August wildfire siege, were a series of 650 wildfires that ignited across Northern California in mid-August 2020 due to a siege of dry lightning from a rare, massive summer thunderstorm, which were caused by unusual combination of very hot and dry weather, surface dry fuels, and advection. This is kind of spooky here. Moisture from the remains of tropical storm Fausto northward into the Bay Area. These fires burned between 1,500,000, okay, on and on and on. Within a 2 to 3 week period, the August 2020 lightning fires included 3 enormous wildfires. Now, these are only miles away from me. Big Sur is only miles away from me. But these fires were up north. The SCU Lightning Complex Fire, the August Complex Fire, and the LINJ Lightning Complex Fire. On September 10th, 2020, the August complex set a record for this thing. Okay, on and on and on. So it goes on down the line. And on the 24th, this is the fires. Total fires, 650. Okay, now we'll go down this. The dates, they're ranging it from August 11th, 2020. Cause, lightning. Buildings destroyed. Deaths, 29. It was a big deal. The three major Bay Area fires were the CCU, LNU, and the CZU. That was in Santa Cruz. Collectively breaking. Meteorological background. Okay. Between August 14th and 16th, Northern California was subjected to record-breaking warm temperatures due to an anomalously strong high pressure, okay, etc., etc. They said there was a fire watch and a red flag warning for the area. I don't remember that. It doesn't matter. We had this hurricane come up. It created some storms. They thought it would be garden variety Midwest storms with one location near Travis Air Force Base going around 80 degrees Fahrenheit to 100 degrees Fahrenheit in 1 to 2 hours. Additionally, much of these storms were occupied by dry lightning. I'll show it to you. Early morning on August 16th, that sounds about right, when the first thunderstorms hit, around 2,500 lightning strikes hit the Bay Area. It's really Monterey Bay Area, with 200 strikes happening in a 30-minute period at one point, which the National Weather Service office in the Bay Area labeled as insane. That's what it says. Within the next 72 to 96 hours, over 12,000 lightning strikes were recorded over Northern California. These lightning strikes sparked up to 585 fires, many of which grew to be very large, rapid-paced, due to parched brush, especially in Northern California. Now, of course, the conspiracy theorists came out because we thought the lightning storm was crazy. We've never seen lightning like that. We didn't know it was starting fires. But what's weird is the conspiracy doesn't start until later. They have all these fires listed. Every single one of them is in that time frame, mid-August of 2020, and they're all listed as lightning. All of them. Okay? Now, most of them were up north. I don't even remember the one that's called the Dolan Fire that's south of us. But I think it's in here. Let me see. Dolan Fire. The Carmel Fire in Monterey. Okay, look at that. On August 18th, the Carmel Fire started. Now, that's only 20 minutes drive to Big Sur. And that burned just some houses. You see, lightning sparked. 73 structures destroyed, 7 structures damaged. Okay, that's interesting, August 19th in Marin, California. I mean, we go on and on down the line here. Look at all these fires that were started due to lightning because of a bizarre lightning storm. Okay, so this was a very rare event. We knew the fires had started. Oh, absolutely. And the lightning was insane. Here, let me show you the lightning. That was the main news story. It wasn't the fires, it was the lightning. This is the 17th.
A red flag warning is now in effect for the Central Coast up through the North Bay after last night's lightning and thunderstorms.
Wow.
It was something, yeah.
It was something. Nearly 1,000 lightning strikes in Central California between 8 and midnight last night. Now the main concern is the increased potential for fires, of course.
Action News reporter Bianca Beltran live in our Salinas newsroom now with more on that. Bianca?
That's right, Dan. CAL FIRE last night responded to 6 fires caused by those lightning strikes. And although the lightning has passed, there's still some concern that they sparked some fires still out in Monterey County.
We had abundant lightning around the area, and the conditions with our fuel moisture and everything were really dry. So sometimes when you get these lightning strikes, it'll start a little wildfire that we won't know about for a few days until some wind comes and stokes that fire out. So we'll probably be keeping an eye out for any type of future wildfires caused by this. So just because the lightning's over doesn't mean we're out of the woods yet.
The National Weather Service says there were 978 lightning strikes in just 4 hours across the Bay Area. Through it all, viewers used our KSBW Facebook page and YouLocal to send us great pictures and video of the light show. Larry Smith with the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration in Monterey says they expected some storm activity, but nothing quite like this.
In the summertime, we do get some storms that come through and we get pretty significant lightning, but this is the first one in the probably 2 or 3 years that we actually really got significant lightning in the Monterey area. And that was, kind of unheard of.
This year, the National Weather Service in Monterey received some new technology that allows them to monitor not only the lightning that strikes the ground, but also those that jump from cloud to cloud. And they said that this was especially impressive.
This was just off the coast of where I live.
That's fire, Joel.
Across the skies of the Bay Area, photos and videos flooding into the newsroom all day. And we have team coverage tonight on the storms and the damage that followed this morning. We'll begin with Chief Meteorologist Paul Hagan with a look at the potential for more storms overnight. Hey, Paul.
Yeah, as if one round of summertime thunderstorms in the Bay Area isn't weird enough, we could see another round developing late tonight into early tomorrow morning.
Thanks to Josh for sending in this incredible capture. And take a look at this from Emeryville, the lightning highlighting the Bay Bridge and San Francisco in the background. Can you imagine being on the Bay Bridge there and seeing that? And to Santa Cruz.
Look at the numbers on the clock. 7-2 and 7-7.
Mother Nature putting on quite a show over the Pacific Ocean for people who love this kind of weather. This can be exciting, but quite scary for the rest of us. Finally, lightning bolts over SFO, illuminating the tarmac, likely affecting air travel today. Be sure to send us your videos and pictures. Tag us across.
Ivan Gomez. He is the man accused of starting the devastating Dolan fire in Big Sur in 2020.
That's impossible. I mean, he did. You didn't listen to what he said. August 18th.
It burned nearly 125,000 acres across the Los Padres National Forest, doing widespread damage. Action News 8 reporter Felix Cortez covered the fire from day one. He was in the courtroom today and is live in Salinas with more. Felix?
Short memories.
Well, Dan, prosecutors have an admission in this case. Defense says that's all they have. No physical evidence on exactly how this fire started. Ivan Gomez, suspected arsonist, according to prosecutors, an insane man, according to his defense. Now on trial nearly 2 years after being arrested on charges, he started the Dolan fire in August of 2020 in Big Sur. Witnesses testifying that Gomez admitted to starting the fire at an illegal pot grill when questioned by first responders. Pull up! The fire eventually destroyed more than 124,000 acres, 14 structures, and may have killed 11 endangered condors. More than a dozen firefighters were injured, one critically when they had to deploy their emergency fire shelters. Gomez has been charged with 16 felonies, including arson, marijuana cultivation, injury to a firefighter, and animal cruelty. In court Tuesday, a fire investigator with the U.S. Forest Service testified they concluded Gomez started the fire based on his original statement and several Bic lighters he was in possession.
It's impossible. This is what else he said. He said he killed 3 people. You see how the double plays game? Dude, there's so much shit like this. It's ridiculous. This shit happens every day, all the time, to people who aren't insane.
And several Bic lighters he was in possession.
So where did he do that shit? Yeah, she's beating on purpose. I got a problem with that.
Gomez's original statement was a significant factor in determining the fire was intentionally set. But according to court testimony, Ivan Gomez said he started the fire to kill or cover up the deaths of 5 people at the Pot Gardens. No bodies were ever found. He started the fire to kill or cover up the deaths of significant factor in determining the fire was intentionally set. Ignition, he said they could not, but said Gomez's
blocked that out.
Possession of. But when asked by the defense if investigators could pinpoint an exact cause of ignition, he said they could not, but said Gomez's original statement was a significant factor in determining the fire was intentionally set. But according to court testimony, Ivan Gomez said he started the fire to kill or cover up the deaths of 5 people at the Pot Gardens. No bodies were ever found. When the court trial will resume Wednesday afternoon. When the defense gets the case, they plan to put a psychiatrist on the witness stand who will testify to Gomez's mental state. If convicted on all charges, Ivan Gomez faces 24 years in prison. Reporting from the Salinas courthouse.
A Monterey County judge has now found a Fresno man guilty of starting the Dolan fire back in 2020. Ivan Gomez now awaits a sentencing hearing that's scheduled for May. KION's Anna Torrea was there for the hearing, and she breaks down what happened in court today. Anna?
Good evening, Veronica. Both the defense and prosecution gave their closing arguments today, and a judge agreed with the prosecution that Ivan Gomez did start the Dolan fire that burned along the Big Sur coast. For almost 2 hours, the defense and prosecution gave their arguments on Ivan Gomez, the man accused of starting the Dolan fire.
It has been a long 2 weeks. There were a number of witnesses, investigators, defense experts that testified throughout the trial.
Court documents showed that Gomez was detained by park rangers after it was reported he was seen throwing rocks at cars along Highway 1. During today's proceedings, the prosecution said it had enough testimony and evidence against Gomez.
Anyone that sat through the last 2 weeks knew that the defendant had made some bizarre statements. There was no denying that. But he also made very truthful, credible statements, and we believed always that he made the credible statements with regard. But he also made very truthful, credible statements, and we believed always that he made the credible statements with regards to starting the Dolan fire.
The defense attorney in the case argued that Gomez's statements were inconsistent, as he would switch back and forth between admitting to starting the fire to denying it. In the end, Judge Pamela Butler found the 30-year-old guilty on all counts.
We absolutely believe justice was found today, and justice for the people of Big Sur, and a justice for the firefighter. All of those folks that lost their homes, lost their lands, had to evacuate.
I checked those court records here at the Monterey County Courthouse. Now included in those 16 felony counts is arson causing bodily injury and planting and cultivating marijuana. The Big Sur Volunteer Fire Brigade was one of the first agencies on scene. KION reached out to the agency on today's ruling.
And I just want to give praise to the justice system in Monterey County for taking the time necessary to search out all the facts and go through the process and ultimately reach a decision.
Harris says he hopes today's outcome will bring closure to the communities that were affected by the Dolan fire.
You know, while it can't bring back the lost condors, for example, or the homes, I just think that, you know, bringing closure and knowing that someone is being held accountable for the Dolan fire is definitely brings some sort of relief surrounding.
Now, I also spoke with attorney Michael Belter, who represented Gomez in the case. He told me while he's disappointed in the outcome, he respects the court's ruling and will be asking for the minimum sentencing because Gomez has no priors. Reporting live in Salinas, Anna Torrea, KION News Channel 546.
He got 24 years, by the way.
Aggravated arson means Gomez allegedly started the fire with the intent to cause damage to property and cause injuries. One of the qualifications for the charge is damage or losses that exceed $8.3 million. The Dolan fire is estimated at more than $65 million in damages. Gomez previously pleaded not guilty to arson in August. With the new charge, he now faces 10 years to life in prison. He's expected to be back in court in December.
Well, that man was sentenced today to 24 years. Now, he could have started it during the lightning storm. I'm not saying that, but they never mentioned it once. They never mentioned that there was all these fires miles from that fire that were all clearly lightning fires. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I'm not trying to defend an arsonist. But then again, I mean, it's the news, and you guys believe everything you fucking hear. I mean, I used to be a ramp guy at the private airport on the street. I had FBI background clearance, but you all know that I'm totally capable of taking a plane and driving it around. Like, you know, hey, I play video games where you can fly airplanes. So if you saw some shit on TV that Don snuck into a plane and started, you would believe it, wouldn't you? Of course you would. Of course you would.
And slow, because you don't have this app. It will auto-clean the garbage in your phone. It will clean up your phone every 2 hours.
In the skies over Seattle, an employee with Horizon Air, that company owned by Alaska Airlines, taking off from Seattle-Tacoma Airport in a stolen turboprop plane, doing loops and rolls high in the sky before crashing 30 miles away. You see U.S. fighter jets tracking that rogue plane. No passengers on board, only the lone pilot, who authorities called suicidal. Tonight, we're learning much more about the 29-year-old ground employee accused of bringing that busy airport to a halt and putting so many lives at risk. ABC's Clayton Sandell is in Seattle, starting us off tonight.
Oh my God, is he okay?
The alarming aerobatics of a passenger airline.
Holy!
Looping and rolling, pursued by fighter jets.
The Alaska Airlines Q400, what the is he doing over here?
Proving this was no ordinary air show. That plane stolen, surprising controllers when it barged onto the runway.
The Dash 8 on runway 16 center, say your call time.
Taking off Friday at 7:32 p.m.
The wheels are smoking left and right. Right now, it's rolling down the runway.
At the controls 29-year-old Richard Russell, a Horizon Airlines baggage handler. He'd passed background checks and had worked for Horizon for 3.5 years, even posting about his job on YouTube.
I'm a ground service agent. That means I lift a lot of bags.
F-15 fighters scramble from Portland, flying faster than the speed of sound, intercepting Russell south of Seattle. They are prepared to shoot him down as controllers try to talk him down.
All right, Rich, now let's try to land that airplane safely and not hurt anybody on the ground.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to. I was kind of hoping that was going to be it.
75 minutes after takeoff, the plane crashes into flames on a small island. Russell is killed.
Got a lot of people that care about me, and it's going to disappoint them that I did this. I would like to apologize to each and every one of them.
Commercial airplanes do not have door locks or ignition keys. Experts say they can be easily started using a checklist. But tonight there are big questions about how Russell was able to learn just enough to get that plane off ground, and why. The Pierce County Sheriff described Russell as suicidal.
And Clayton Sandell joins us live outside the Seattle airport where that plane took off. And Clayton, multiple agencies involved, but the FBI is now in charge of the investigation.
That's right, Whit. And tonight the priority out at the scene is finding those flight data and voice recorders in the wreckage. Now, the FBI says this does not appear to be terrorism, but it is a big red flag for aviation security. However, the airline says it's still too early to talk about whether security procedures might need to be beefed up. Whit.
All right, Clayton Sandell in Seattle for us tonight. Thank you. Let's bring in our ABC News contributor, Colonel Steve Ganyard, a former Marine fighter pilot. And Steve, in this post-9/11 world, this man was able to access the cockpit of a commercial airliner and then take off from a major U.S. airport. How could this happen?
Well, I think we need to keep this in perspective. This is not just some guy that jumped the fence at SeaTac, ran out and stole an airplane. This was a trusted employee, and
The Google Career Certificate changed my life. Being able to connect with employers through the platform was the support that I needed. I made a full career pivot to UX design.
Trust the media. Trust the media.
At Booking.com, we don't limbo, but I got back to think we do offer free cancellation.
We're ground off, so. Everyone standing by for departure, just hold on with me for a second.
Right, 070. Approach welcome, final runway 16 right.
Welcome.
Man, I'm a ground service agent. I don't know what that is.
Clear to Portland, 6 is filed at 7017.
Good for the show, 416 right, so I'm not the run.
Start it up and get it to go. In a couple hours, I guess. But, yeah, I wouldn't know how to land it. I wasn't really planning on landing it.
99 NV and Bravo over to Mansfield, the opposite sent off. I know how to fly one of those aircraft, but we'll see what we can do and get you in contact with somebody.
Alrighty, yeah, I just kind of want to do a couple maneuvers, see what it can do before I put her down, you know?
And departure, Boeing 464, yeah. And so I can reach out to you a little easier.
A little bit.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Sorry, my mic came off. I threw up a little bit. You know, shoot. Man, I'm sorry about this. I hope this doesn't ruin your day.
22, cross runway 16 left, contact. Just flying the plane around, you seem comfortable with that?
Oh, hell yeah, it's a blast, man. I played video games before, so I know what I'm doing a little bit.
Okay, and you can see all the terrain around you. You've got no issue with visibility or anything?
Nah, everything's peachy clean. Just did a little circle around Rainier. It's beautiful. I think I got some gas to go check out the Olympics. And, yeah.
Okay, and Rich, do you know, are you able to tell what altitude you're at?
Only 16 left, contact tower for your landing clearance.
I threw up all inside of it. It's bad.
You'll be released when you taxi out.
American 600.
Fast to join. I was thinking about it, and then probably a good thing I didn't.
494.
Mexico 494, Monitor Tower 1.
Our attempts to get going up.
I had to listen to that kind of scanner fodder for years. Those are all little bits and pieces taken from totally separate broadcasts. In other words, they don't make any sense. You know, oh, you won't be released until this. You know, you guys don't even know what that means. So that whole audio tape is totally fabricated. Now, what scares me is you don't care. Well, it's just everybody do. What are you talking about? Now, here's the best one.
Yeah, that's all mumbo jumbo. I have no idea what all that means. I wouldn't know how to punch it in. I'm off autopilot.
Okay, see ya. Make a right turn on Bravo, 5,500.
Get me to the jet?
No, I'm not taking you to any jets. I'm actually keeping you away from aircraft that are trying to land it.
Here's the next bullshit story from just a couple weeks ago. This was not arson, dude. Look at that guy. Hold on. Actually, we'll just back up. That was the Home Depot fire. Well, you know, that in itself is suspicious. Come on, man. Why am I lying? There's no reason to be lying. But you get my point. Is you know, maybe I'm just a genius, but this is probably all the news that we see. This fire here, I mean, how do you should hear the fire department, like, they don't know how to describe it. Yeah, I got kicked offline, even though I'm 2 feet away from 2 different fucking internet things. I didn't even got that much before. No connection, yeah, of course not. Oh, shit. It's not 10:39 either. Still sunny out. Yeah, I'm connected. Samsung. It says maybe we're connected. Yep, connected. Calling for fire. Oh yeah, this little fire.
From above, a molten fireball erupting into the sky, consuming thousands of square feet. Saturday's Home Depot fire burning for hours, turning the hardware store's contents into kindling, shrouding suburban San Jose into a plume of black smoke seen from 20 miles away. On the ground, panic. The blaze breaking out at around 5:30 Saturday night. About 30 workers and shoppers scrambling to escape.
Vacate the building. We got fire through the roof. We're going to change to a defensive strategy. Let's get all crews out.
The 5-alarm fire so massive, it was spotted from a National Weather Service satellite in space. Raining debris reported from residents 3 miles away. Tonight, crews still stabilizing the scene, working to make sure the wreckage is safe for investigators. Fire officials telling NBC News they believe it started in an area where lumber and drywall was being stored.
A commercial building of this size, with this many people inside it when the fire progressed, they want to know why and what happened, for sure.
Next door, a pet hospital forced to evacuate. Employee Sam Arship quickly rounded up 13 dogs in just 2 minutes, packing them into this car.
It all happened so quick, within about 2 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
arson investigation after a 5-alarm fire completely destroys a San Jose Home Depot. What investigators are revealing ahead of an expected update in the case set to be given at any moment.
And good morning to you. Thanks for joining us for our midday newscast. I'm Marcus Washington.
And I'm Ginger Conejero-Saab in for Laura Garcia.
Right now, we want to go live to that press conference. Let's listen in.
Running for their lives. It is a rare and important gathering we have here today. I'm honored to be standing before you alongside San Jose Fire Chief Robert Sapien, San Jose Police Chief Tony Mata, Special Agent in charge of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms Patrick Gorman, of course our Mayor in San Jose, Sam Liccardo, along with our Assistant Police Chief of San Jose, Paul Joseph, our Assistant Fire Chief, James Williams, as well as a few prosecutors with me, including my Chief Assistant, Jay Boyarsky, and the two prosecutors who I'll introduce in a little bit who are handling this prosecution. This is a team that came together within hours of when Home Depot erupted in flames. We cover different jurisdictions. We have different responsibilities, but with crimes like an arson that destroyed a crowded 11,000 square foot building on a Saturday afternoon full of residents of San Jose, we're on the same team. And I'm thankful and grateful for that.
What are you talking about?
Lastly, I'm thankful that my office, the DA's office, is not prosecuting a multiple murder case today. Miraculously, no one was hurt in this 5-alarm fire that was so hot and so large that it could be detected from a satellite in space. But it came close, far, far too close to causing many injuries and deaths. Later this afternoon, we will be arraigning a San Jose man for starting that incredibly dangerous fire. The evidence shows that Dylan J. Cruz Gogi, who's pictured here, lit the fire in an aisle